What's going on, everybody? It's your man Air Jordan 14 back with a new video, and today's shoe is the Air Max Sensation 2011. So what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and jump right in here. Shoe. Alright, now as always, like I said, start with the inner here, and really it's lined with a very smooth material, as you can see here. And really, this is becoming standard on pretty much all performance basketball shoes. And with that being said, basically what that means is you're not going to have any hot spots or any rubbing or chafing or anything like that. I didn't experience any of that during my time in the Sensation 2011. And as a matter of fact, the only real raised seam are at the front and the underside of this booty that runs to about here, this inner boot. And as you can see right there, they're done in such a way that they're not going to cause you any problems. So the inner comfort was very good, even right out of the box. And actually I'm just going to start and then kind of work my way out and down here. So the upper here, as far as the materials, you got kind of a nubuck that kind of wraps around the medial heel and a little bit here and comes around, and then you've got some at the toe box here in conjunction with these synthetic pieces here in conjunction with your mesh material, which is over this purple fabric, which is the same as here. So as far as the materials of the upper was actually very flexible, which did help as far as from the upper up. Not so much from the midsole down. I'm going to come back into that in just a sec. Fit, like I said, these materials were very flexible. The fit overall, the upper was very so-so. For those of you who may not remember, or maybe young, or maybe new to the videos, or what have you, this is an update of a previous shoe from the 90s. Back when Chris Webber was first drafted and was coming into the NBA as a young pup, he was a Nike athlete, and he had a shoe called the Air Max CW. Okay, and then they re-released it several years later. By then he was not a Nike athlete. And they renamed it the Air Max Sensation. And this is kind of, I guess, an updated version of the Sensation. And for those of you, and I had a pair I wanted to kind of differentiate between certain aspects in terms of performance, but I can't find them, so oh well. On those, I don't know if you see these bungees right here that go across your instep here, on top of the foot. On the original CW and the Sensation, these like here were very prominent, but they were thicker, and they really made a difference as far as fit. Excuse me. On the Sensation 2011, these are more for show. I don't have a wide foot at all. I don't have a narrow foot. I guess it's a medium width foot. And even when I tied the shoe up, what would happen is the shoe would bunch up. So that bunching, it's not going to show because the laces are behind it. But that bunching, basically, as you can tell, when it bunches up, well, this would too. And any enhancement of fit that these bungee elastic cords would help with, it just didn't get the job done. So because of that fit, at the upper, it was all right. It wasn't as locked down as I would have liked. That's not to say that I had excessive movement within the forefoot area of the shoe, or even around the midfoot. It just wasn't quite as locked down as I would have liked and have experienced in a lot of other shoes. Now, fit at the heel was definitely a little worse. And what was happening is actually, I don't know if you can tell, like on, where is it? Let me show you. For instance, okay, real quick. On this LeBron 9, Now hopefully you can see how sculpted and padded this is and how that helps to cradle the heel and your Achilles area, and really helps to lock that area down. On here, you've got that inner boot, and it's not sculpted at all actually. It's really smooth, as you can tell. And then there's minimal padding here along the lateral and the medial sides of your malleoli, which is your ankle bone. So it's not really much going on. So even with the shoe laced all the way up and to the top, here's what was happening, okay? I'm exaggerating it, okay? I was getting okay? I was getting a little bit of heel slip, and no matter how tightly I tightened the shoe, I couldn't quite get it to the point where it was absolutely a lockdown fit, which I thought was enough to be noticeable. And if your foot's moving around in the shoe, it could be a recipe for injury and disaster. So that was definitely a big letdown. Had it been more sculpted or padded around this area, that probably would have eliminated that problem. But because of the lack thereof of either, then you had the aforementioned slipping. Now, moving down here to the midsole and outsole, it's the tooling pretty much from here down is exactly the same as that on the Air Max Hyperdunk 2010. We got a Phylon midsole here, Air Max 360, just full length air, front to back, side to side. So the cushioning, and it did its job. I'll just say it that way. You know, as far as the Phylon in conjunction with the 360 Air, in this particular combination, it's not very responsive at all. But then again, this is a shoe that is geared towards bigger players. Think Chris Webber, that type of player, and not really for a guard or a perimeter player, which is mostly primarily where I do play. So while it did get the job done, I wasn't a big fan of having that much distance between my foot and the floor. So the court feel on that was not very good. So it's one of those areas, if you are a guard or somebody who likes that type of feel, court feel is important to you, this might not be the direction you want to go in. Moving down here to the outsole, again, it's the same tooling. So you've got a lot of herringbone on the shoe. Traction was pretty good, even on less than dusty or less than clean courts here. So I didn't really have any issues out of that. My issue with really the midsole was really just transitional, from when you're making a transition or whatever. One of the drawbacks about this, like I said, you've got all this material. It's not the most flexible, as you can see. It is in the upper, of course, but not really here. There's just nothing here. And I'm gonna come around. You see, there's some. You may not be able to see. There's a flex groove here, a tiny one there, and I'm using that term loosely. We've got a little bit here and here. And they really don't do much to help in terms of